I'm shooting right now on the new Canon 85mm f1.4L VCM lens, which is the latest lens in the VCM range of lenses. Now, these are hybrid lenses designed for video and photography, since most cameras now are so hybrid focused, right? They're so good at both things. These lenses to me have always felt a little bit more video focused in the way they're designed, but they're absolutely fantastic for both, to be completely honest. And all of the VCM lenses share a huge amount in common when it comes to the way they control, the way they feel in the hands, everything about them from size and weight right through to the way the aperture ring works. There's no click, for example, we've talked about that in the past. But 85mm has always felt, to me, like the focal length that is missing the most in this range. So it's the one I've been the most excited about to actually come to the VCM range, because it adds so much to the ability to tell stories with your focal length, right? We've got some nice wider focal lengths. We've got 24mm, for example. We've got 50mm. Adding 85mm in really allows you to get that major separation between subject and background, right? You've got the wider shots with the 24mm, stuff like that, maybe the 20mm as well, where you can kind of really set up your scene. You can get those wider tracking shots, those wide, nice vistas that you need for your stories, right? 50mm, great middle ground, but 85 is where you can punch in and get that very cinematic feel to your, especially for your videos, you can get a very cinematic feel to things, right? With the out of focus background, that very nice shallow depth of field, like I mentioned, the separation between your subject and background. That is, for me, the most cinematic focal length that you can be shooting at. Oh, hang on. Sorry. This is Gareth.
I'm afraid they've found him. He's moving fast. We've only got one shot. It has to be perfect.
What's the light like?
Dim, chaotic, shadows everywhere. Most won't even see him.
Okay. So it's going to have to be wide open.
I'm afraid wide open won't be enough this time. We're going to need separation, subject isolated, everything else drowned in blur.
Bokeh?
Yes, exactly. Smooth, dreamlike, unmistakable.
85 then. 1.4. That's the only chance we've got.
You understand what's at stake?
Listen, you don't have to tell me that. This is the one we've been waiting for. You see what I mean about the cinematic feel to 85mm? I just think it adds a lot to your storytelling when it comes to shooting videos. And absolutely, it doesn't have to be for dramatic, cinematic stuff like that. Just talking head segments can look really, really nice on a lens like this. Now, of course, like the other VCM lenses, this is lovely and sharp, right? The actual optical quality here is stunning. It is such a beautiful bit of glass. I'm not surprised in the slightest. L lenses, they always are, right? VCM lenses so far have always been fantastic. So whether you are shooting photography, and this is obviously great for things like portraits, for headshots, actually, I love an 85mm for lots more than that. You know, street photography, candid stuff, even events. I mean, this is a nice 1.4 aperture, gives you a lot of light, right? So if you're shooting events where the light isn't so great, actually, this is giving you a lot of opportunities to be able to deal with that and give you a lot of versatility in the kinds of shots that you can be able to get. If you're familiar with any of the other VCM lenses, you'll be right at home here. Very, very similar size and weight again, which I think is so impressive when you're talking about a range that spans from 20mm, 24mm, 50mm, 85mm now as well, all f1.4. You're gonna get basically identical optical quality throughout that range, and then controls are basically identical as well. You've got a control ring on the front of the lens, which is great if you wanna set that to control something like ISO or something like that. You've got the manual focus ring, and you've got an aperture ring. Now, my only complaint with the VCM lenses, which I totally understand why it's like this, is that aperture ring is not able to be switched between clicked and declicked. It is just always declicked, it's always smooth. I totally get why. It's because these are video focused lenses, and that makes more sense to have it smooth like that. I just personally like the option to have it, clicked, because even with video, I'm very rarely changing aperture mid-shot. I've generally got that set up ready to go, so I don't need the smoothness actually in there, and I prefer that tactile feel. That's a completely subjective thing. Lots of people prefer it without the click. That's totally fine. And like I say, I understand the decision making, but I've mentioned it in every other VCM lens review that we've done. So of course I'm going to mention it here as well. Other than that, I mean, this feels great in the hand. It is significantly less bulbous than previous 85mm lenses, especially older versions, you know, that used to be really quite bulbous. This is pretty sleek. It's very lightweight as well for an 85mm like this. Nice wide open aperture. I'm really impressed. And like I say, this is the VCM lens that I personally have been waiting for. I've not had it for, you know, a huge amount of time to really test it out. I've tried to film a few things. I've tried to go out and take photos, really get a sense for how it feels. It feels great, like I say, in the hands. It looks lovely in terms of the optical quality. It will fit so well into that VCM workflow where you can swap these lenses in and out in terms of weight and size, whether it's in a rig, whether it's on a gimbal, without really having to worry about rebalancing and resetting everything up. I think that's such a useful thing. And it's a very clever long-term strategy that Canon have got there to make these such a good set of lenses for, especially for videographers, right? I mean, for photographers as well, but especially in that videography kind of workflow where a lens really sits in the middle of a whole setup. I think that's a great plan. I think it's a lovely way to kind of set these up. You can check out the full spec, including the pricing and everything else you want to know by going over to parkcameras.com. Link down in the description to make it nice and easy to go and check out this lens in particular. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. So there's new content all the time. I'll see you in the next video. But until then, as always, thanks for watching.